All right, so Opendoor Technology was pretty interesting today. The chart, I'm going to talk about it, and also I'm going to talk about how Opendoor was actually going up in the morning, but then it slowed down and then it came back down again. I don't know what that was all about, but we did have some good news. Some shares were bought, and I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. All right, here we go on a weekly. Still 3 red candles on a weekly, and the daily chart, we are right here on the support line between $7.55 and $8. After hours, 8.05. So it's looking good right now. We're green after hours. Reason why we went down, to me, in my opinion, is just a lot of stuff going on right now about the government shutdown. We won't get a jobs report, I heard, on Friday if the government shut down. So I think a lot of things are depending on the shutdown. A lot of things will be delayed. I talked about this on my last video. Mortgage loans will be delayed based on what kind of loan it is. So there's a lot of factors going on right now that's possibly holding down Opendoor. And it could be another thing. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Here we go in the hourly chart. This is what I said earlier. The hourly chart, was going up. It was a lot of volume was happening in the first hour of the day. A lot of volume. We had about 45 million volume the first hour. And then after that, it slowly went down. 45 million, 29 million, 17 million, 14, 16. It just kept going down lower and lower. So we had resistance at 833 on the intraday chart. And I'm going to draw a line real quick because that's what we need to break for tomorrow, 833. And then support on the intraday chart was right at the 796 area. So I'm going to draw a support line right there too. So between 833 resistance and the 797 support. That's what we're looking for tomorrow to hold. 797 and 833. After hours, had a little green candlestick right here, a little doji candle, kind of bullish, but it came up and it couldn't break the 810, 811 area, and now we're down at the 805. So as long as we're holding over $8, I'm happy about that. But the thing about it, if the government does shut down, it possibly could go lower to the sevens, maybe somewhere between the 777 and the $8 area if the government shuts down. And like I said before, a lot of manipulation and games are always played in the stock market because did you see where our support was at? Did you see how low we went today? We went down to the $7.77. So if you think that's a coincidence, I don't know what to say. But market makers like to play a lot of games. Down to $7.77 exactly. So the 5-minute chart, as soon as the market opened, Opendoor went below, went to $7.77, and then it went right back above the $8 again. And then it had a little rally right here, a little rally. And as you can see, it bounced around the resistance. 833 came down to $8. 833 came down to $8 again. And then it sold off right here, in my opinion, because of the government shutdown issue, pending news, what's going to happen. So it sold off right here. I think it only sold off because there's indecision in the market right now. A lot of indecision. No one knows what's going to happen. A lot of times when no one knows what's going to happen, they start selling the shares, take some profit. And then once we know what's going to happen, they buy back in again. So if we can hold at $8 until we know what's going to happen, that would be good. I think a decision needs to be made by midnight, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. But if the government doesn't shut down, I think we test that 833 again tomorrow and possibly 870 if we get a good rally on Opendoor Technology. BETR, if you follow BETR, let's see how the chart looks on there. BETR didn't do too much today. Pretty much BETR is consolidating. If you're following BETR, it's consolidating at the 51 to $60 area. And ITB, nothing really in ITB going on. DR Horton, a green day, but kind of traded sideways. As you can see, the two candlesticks right next to each other for yesterday and today. And Lennar kind of went down today. A little red candle going down. But wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. After hours, Lennar is green. DR Horton is red. Opendoor is green after hours. But, time in sales, we're at the $8 area. Exactly at the $8 time in sales. So, the government shuts down. Don't be surprised if we drop between, $7.50 or $7.75. area. If the government does shut down, that's where the support is at, 750 and 775. If the government doesn't shut down, maybe $8 hold, and then break their 833 and try to break that 860 area. Try to test that tomorrow if the government doesn't shut down. If it does shut down, 775 or 750 possibly. But let's look at the news. Opendoor Technology Director Eric Chung Wei Wu buys 300,752 shares, and the amount looks like $2 million, right? Eric Chung, serving as the director at Opendoor Technology, has purchased 300,000 shares of company common stock at a price at $6.65 per share, totaling a $2 million investment. Following this transaction, Wu directly owns 1.9 million shares of Opendoor. So look, these people aren't buying shares for nothing, right? Why would they be buying shares if they feel that the company is going to go down? If they feel that the stock is going to go down? $2 million purchase, that's a big amount, you know? He has a lot of shares now, over 1.9 million shares now. So, as you can see, even on this chart right here, you know, we're still bullish on this chart. Straight up, straight up, straight up. And then we know right here, as you can see right here, $6 was where we pumped up at. Even on here, it's showing that even if it drops to $7, we would still actually have a bullish chart. But we want to hold that $7.50, $8 area if the government does shut down, you know, temporarily. And here's the form if you want to look at it. Form 4, SEC filing. And if you want to take a look at it, screenshot it. If you want to read over it, it's up to you. But here's the official SEC statement, Form 4, for the purchase of the shares. 300,000 shares. Says transaction date 9/26/2025. And, you know, D for direct. A was acquired. He acquired these shares. So, yeah, that's a good deal. Nice. They're still buying shares. They're still buying shares. Oh, yeah, one more thing I want to show you on the chart. I have to turn the Bollinger Bands on. And I just want to show you that they're tightening. They're tightening pretty good here on the Bollinger Band on this area right here between 833 and also 785. So as these Bollinger Bands tighten, a move probably will be in the near future, either up or down. We don't know though. It could be up, it could be down, but they are definitely tightening. On a daily chart, it's still not tightening, pretty wide here to here, but the hourly chart is looking good. The 4-hour chart, I want to show you the 4-hour. Here we go. So yeah, the 4-hour chart, same thing. It's starting to tightening right here. The last time it tightened, that small right here was probably right around here, and then we had a move, but it was down instead of up. It was pretty tight right here. Then also, see, Bollinger Bands are real tight right here. I mean, real tight. And then what happened? We had a big move from 556 all the way to 1097. And then here's another Bollinger Band tightening right here. It went from 993 all the way down to 882, so a dollar move. So the Bollinger Bands are tightening again. And once they tighten, you know, anything can happen. You know, a lot of times it's a big move, up or down. So we're hoping it goes up because we have been trending down for the past few days. So consolidate here and then go up and break that 833, 850, and then $9. That's what we're looking for. But, you know, everything depends on what the government is going to do for the shutdown and also the job numbers, I think, on Friday. So we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. The likes have been helping. I've been seeing a lot more likes recently on the videos, and I'm very excited. I appreciate it. Take care.